The third way, learn and experiment continuously. A presentation given by Aaron, Andrea, James, and Tammy. Today we're going to focus on creating a culture of continual learning and experimentation. In the technology value stream, our goal is to create a high-trust culture, reinforcing that we are all lifelong learners who must take risks in our daily work. We reserve time for the improvement of daily work and to further accelerate and ensure learning. By creating this continual and dynamic system of learning, we enable teams to rapidly and automatically adapt to an ever-changing environment, which ultimately helps us win in the marketplace. We will demonstrate with some key points during this presentation on how an organization can focus on creating a culture of continual learning and experimentation.
Enabling organizational learning and a safety culture is one way to foster learning and experimentation. Organizational learning is the process of creating and transferring knowledge within an organization. When something is learned by one member, it is shared throughout the organization, which increases global knowledge and improves the whole organization. Safety culture means that employees feel safe enough to speak up about problems they find. This is crucial because if an employee doesn't fear retribution or blame, when they see a problem or possible improvement, they will speak out about it, making it easier to fix problems before they become catastrophic. Organizations can have several different types of cultures. Pathological or power-oriented organizations create a culture of fear, where information is hidden, failure is covered up, and new ideas are crushed. Bureaucratic or rule-oriented organizations create turf battles where information is ignored, failure brings justice, and new ideas create problems. Generative or performance-oriented organizations, on the other hand, create opportunities for success by creating a culture of trust where information is sought for the good of all, and people are able to take risks, innovate, and speak up without fear of failure. Failures are seen as opportunities for growth, and new ideas are welcomed. A generative culture is vital for creating a high-performance organization. To foster a generative culture, efforts must be made to create a safe system of work. Because work is done in complex systems, mistakes and accidents will occur. When this happens, the focus needs to be on learning from the incident rather than finding who was at fault. A blameless postmortem is a tool that can be used for this purpose. A blameless postmortem focuses on the system. If someone made a mistake, rather than blaming the person, focus is placed on improving the system to be more resilient. Questions are asked such as, what systematic factors led to the incident? And what countermeasures can be used to prevent failures or detect and fix them faster in the future. Information learned in blameless postmortem should be shared widely to foster organizational learning. By removing blame and replacing it with organizational learning, safety and security become everyone's responsibility. People are empowered to experiment and innovate, to detect problems and find solutions within their daily work.
One of the key principles of the third way is to promote the improvement of the daily work. Every time a problem is not properly addressed, it makes the technical debt grow larger and leaves the production system in a persistent state of frailty and disorder. As Toyota Kata observed, in the absence of improvements, processes don't stay the same, they actually degrade over time. We all know the difference between a workaround, a temporary fix, and a solution, a definitive fix. Organizational culture does not always encourage teams to improve work operations because of time, cost, and labor-saving reasons, but this behavior results in an increasing reliance on workaround fixes. And when teams apply exclusively workarounds to the systems, they end up to spend most of their time trying to keep the system in motion instead of focusing and completing cycles of productive works. As Mike Orzen said, even more important than daily work is the improvement of daily work. The improvement of daily work comes from reserving time to reduce the technical debt. How? By fixing the flaws or defects in the system and by redesigning the faulty areas of the code or the process. One method to reach this goal is known as a Kaizen Blitz. The term Kaizen is made by two words, Kai, which means change, and Zen, which means good. So a Kaizen Blitz is a collective effort to fix a problem in a process of continual improvement. The resulting effect of these good practices is that everyone in the organization will tend to fix any problem in their own working area, even when the problem is just a signal of failure, thus becoming a mindset.
Just as with building muscle, building resilience in a given organization can be conducted in different ways. However, for maximum performance, one must constantly pursue positive change driven by tension. Now, tension refers to the urge or the drive of all of the individuals in the organization to continually improve. Now, one example of this is Netflix's Chaos Monkey, which is essentially a algorithm that will randomly select a server and shut it down and see how the system reacts to it. And since they're able to conduct this in a controlled environment, and as controlled as production can be, they're able to test how the system would react if someone other than them was able to shut down those processes and servers. And so because of this, Netflix's system is very resilient. One of the most important things about continual learning in an organization is that leaders reinforce rather than enforce learning culture. And they can accomplish this by asking problem-solving questions instead of probing questions, such as, what did you do wrong now? Or why is it broken? And that sort of thing. Constructive questions that solve a problem lead to a coherent effort of the organization and its individuals to solve a given problem. Questions such as, what was your last step and what happened? What did you learn? What is your condition now? The rest of the bullet points on the slide, etc.
As we have shown today in this presentation, a culture of continual learning and experimentation is the principle of the third way. But the third way is not just a principle by itself, it's actually an intricate part of the first and second ways. So improving flow and feedback requires an iterative and scientific approach that includes framing of a target condition, stating a hypothesis of what will help us get there, designing and conducting experiments, and evaluating the results. The results are not only better performance, but also increased resilience, higher job satisfaction, and improved organizational adaptability.